Gareth, thank you for joining us in the Midweek Spotlight. Obviously, you've had a blog out recently. I'd like to ask you about import levels and the team performance, but there's been another stories kind of come to the forefront after the recent Elite League DOPS decisions. Can you give us your opinion on those, and can you shed any light on that situation for us?
Yeah, obviously I totally understand the frustrations behind the situation from the team and the player. There's a process in place for the league with regards to DOPS that should be followed by the league itself and the team. And I'm pretty sure right now that there's plenty going on, and we'll get a conclusion very soon on that.
So we can expect something official, you feel, in the coming days?
Yes, I would expect so, yeah.
Okay, well, just to ask you about your blog in particular, you mentioned in your blog as well a lot of turnover between last season. There's always a certain amount of turnover, but this season in particular, with a new coach, 16 players going out the door, only 14 coming in. Obviously, fans are asking, they feel like there's a missing D-man there. Can you tell us about the process that's been going on and when they can expect a new D-man to come in?
Yeah, we've been looking for weeks now. We've known since the middle of August that we needed a D-man. Defence is always the most difficult position to find. Good defencemen are, very hot property. Even, at the high standard of the NHL, American Hockey League, KHL, Swedish Hockey League, the good defensemen are very difficult to come by, and we've just felt that we need some quality defensemen in here. We've been looking for weeks. We've been talking to various different candidates for weeks, and we just haven't been able to get a deal across the line. That's for varying reasons, from players don't want to commit to coming to the UK, or they want to wait for a bigger deal in Finland, Germany, Sweden. It's just, the market's always very difficult once you hit the season. It's just finding the right guy and the guy that we want. We want a certain type of guy, a certain calibre of defenceman. And that's what we're looking for right now. The
fans are obviously quite frustrated as well. They see other teams recruiting at this stage in the season. Obviously, there's been a tactic in place to recruit late. In previous seasons, it's served as well. We've seen guys like Matt Keith and Scott Pitt recruited later rather than sooner. But this year, it feels like it's maybe not worked as well, and yet they see other teams being able to recruit at this stage. Why do you feel that is?
Well, I think I agree. In the past, I think us recruiting late has allowed us to bring in a certain calibre of player and that certain quality. I've said numerous times that as you get further into the summer, quality guys, spots generally fill up earlier in the leagues, like in Austria and in Finland and Germany, etc. So there's still a lot of quality players around come the end of July and August. And in the past, it's worked for us. It hasn't, I'm totally willing to acknowledge it hasn't worked as well this time. And it's just look at the draw. Sometimes, you've got to, it's a risk, but it's a risk that's worked very well for us at this organisation, as you touched on there. The last 2 or 3 years, it's worked. And we've just found that last spot very difficult to fill. We thought we had it a couple of times, and for varying different reasons, it's fallen through or it hasn't materialised.
It was also quite a while before the club appointed a head coach. John eventually came in, but found himself quite a few weeks behind, you would say, in the development of getting a team together. How much do you feel that that's impacted on Clan's season? Bearing in mind, tying that together with the Clan, then as soon as they arrive in the rink, they're out for a month as well, because the Mouse is in the house and Disney's are here. How much do you think those two things have factored into Clan's start this season?
It's definitely had an effect. John got the job late May, and we started recruiting straight away. We'd found that the market at that time had already heavily started at signing guys, which generally doesn't happen. And we were a little bit behind the ball. We still thought we'd brought in a lot of quality when we built the roster. We've had some very good resumes coming this year, CVs. It's on paper the team should be doing a lot better than it is. Just reflecting on the month out the arena, it's not easy. It's not an excuse, but it's not easy. The guys, it's the guys being down at Harvey and across at Murrayfield. It does take the toll on them. As an organisation, we've had to go through that most years. I think only last season was the only year that we didn't have to do it. But I know, the guys have got to go early in the morning. They've got to go to the gym, and then they're off on the road to Edinburgh and Harvey, and it takes its toll. It's when you're travelling all the time, and it puts extra pressure on the guys. you know, guys like being in the home building and in the arena here, and you know, they like to be settled, and it certainly psychologically and physically does have an effect on them, but that's not an excuse. It's just the beast that we have to work with, and I don't think that'll change anytime soon.
Do you feel there's also, despite those difficulties, some bright spots, some silver linings as well? We've seen some good performances. We've seen the team are able to turn it on with a different style of hockey than we've seen at the arena as well. Manchester Storm is a particular game. It's in my memory as well, a great performance, and the team still understaffed on the ice. Do you take some solace from performances like that?
Yeah, I think there's been positives and negatives. You know, it's the consistency is an issue for us right now. We cannot find any consistency. One week we beat Manchester, you know, which was a fantastic game, exactly what we wanted to start the season with. You know, we'll go on the road for a month, good result in Nottingham, a good result in Edinburgh. The following week we'll go to Guildford and Cardiff and get beat. And it's just, you know, there's concerns there. We know where our issues are, we know what we need to sort, and it's just like anything, it's difficult to sort them once the season started, because as I said before, it's finding the right players in the market. But you know, I don't think it's all doom and gloom right now. You know, it's we're very disappointed with where we are. We're expected to be higher up, but there's time to change that. There's a lot of positives about this team. I think we've got an exciting team on ice, and we're just trying to. We need to try and make it click.
And obviously a big doubleheader weekend coming up. We've got Sheffield Steelers in the Challenge Cup, and also Belfast in the rink as well. Always good atmospheres when we're playing against those teams. What are you hoping for the team from this weekend?
Well, we've got two very difficult home games. Obviously, we've got Sheffield in the building, who are the premier organisation in the country. They will, they've already qualified for the quarterfinals of the Challenge Cup. But we're still in it. You know, we've still got plenty to play for. We want to qualify for the next round, and it's all there for one. If we want to qualify, we have to win tomorrow night. Looking at Saturday, Belfast are coming in the building. You know, another very good team, very good organisation. It'll be a very difficult game. But you know, if we play our strengths and concentrate and focus on playing the systems that John has in place, anything can happen. You know, we should be, especially on home ice, we should easily be able to give teams a run for the money. Yeah,
and just finally, Gareth, are you happy when you look at the years that have gone by and the changes that have been made? Obviously, this has been a very big year, a lot of turnover. Are you happy with the progression that the team's made over the last few years when you look back?
Yeah, I think we've got a very, very good organisation here now. I've been here for 4 years now, and I think the progression that we've seen in that time has been very good. You know, there's a lot of stuff that people won't see, but we're a much more professional organisation in so many areas now than we were 4 years ago. We're now competing at a different level for play than what we were 4 years ago. And you know, it doesn't stop here. The progression has to continue. We have to keep on pushing on. We're still some way from the top teams, realistically. You know, and that's all down to do with finances, bums on seats. It's just where we are, and you know, we're hungry and ambitious to try and bridge that gap. It's difficult when you've only got so many seats to sell. But we've just got to keep on plugging away and playing at our strengths as an organisation and on the ice. And you know, I think we can gradually climb up there. And you know, the aim is to compete against Sheffield, Nottingham, Belfast. It's just going to be difficult to get there, but we'll just need to keep on trying to get there.
Thank you very much.